one of the biggest differences between the people who can actually heal and reach that state of being healed and basically then just building and creating the life that they want, and people who get stuck on their journey, is their ability to take objective feedback from life. And I understand that actually taking an objective feedback from life can be very actually dysregulating, especially when you are a person who built a lot of negative momentum in their life and is trying to change, and what you receive is the same feedback again and again and again, and that can be very frustrating. And I want to talk about that because this is really important, that you will use your discernment here, because sometimes there is a nuance to that which I will get into, and I'm going to give you an example so you can kind of see how it works. And also, just remember, guys, whenever I'm making videos like that, when there's like, a bit more nuance about like healing journey, I've done my own healing, and I know that it can be very frustrating process, because you do want to heal. I understand that all of you guys, you want to heal. You actually want to have a fulfilling life. And therefore it must be, and it is so frustrating. It was so frustrating for me when I couldn't get it right. And I saw the frustration in my clients when they couldn't get it right. And it can be, very dysregulating. But let's talk about it and let's see what you can actually do to help yourself, because here the discernment plays a crucial role. So what I wanted to say is that life is always giving you feedback, and this is really important to listen to that feedback and to see that feedback for what it is. So not taking it personally, but taking it as this is what it is. I'm not talking about, acceptance, forgiveness. You don't it's almost like remove any meaning to what life is giving you, but look at it as just facts. And sometimes this is really, being very objective and like, okay, this is not a personal feedback. This is what it is. This is what I'm still facing, despite of the fact that maybe I changed a lot of stuff already. Okay, deep breath. Is there anything I can do? So let's talk about it now. So let's think about maybe, using some pretty neutral example. Let's say, although not always neutral, because friendships, for example, because that's the example that comes to my mind. Friendships can be very difficult to navigate, as all of us know. It's depends, because people are on different journeys. So let's say you decided to change something in your relationship with your friends, and you started slowly like changing your behavior. Weeks are passing and you still see kind of the same, maybe shitty situations happening again and again. People really not responding to the change that you decided to make within you. And I want you to, at this point, pause. So let's say those weeks have passed. So let's say, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks have passed. You change the behavior. Now there's that internal activation, because life is giving you still the same feedback. Nothing has changed. I want you to now pay attention to that and think about, okay, what is actually going on for me internally? Name it. Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it hopelessness? Because it could be a lot of things. A lot of the times, what I noticed in my client work is that there are 2 things that mainly crop up, or actually 3 major emotions that crop up that are linked to your emotional systems that we have in our brains. Anger shows up a lot, like, why the fuck? I am still having the same feedback when I change my behavior. This is unfair, all this. So that's uno. Duo is fear. Okay, am I doing something wrong? Am I, have I made again the same mistake? What is wrong with me? So a lot of the times that fear is kind of related to like self-criticism and like perfectionism, really seeking guilt and really blaming yourself. And this is huge. Because when you don't see that external change, it's really easy to turn that into a self-blame trip. And our conscious minds, if you had been through trauma, are really good at that, unfortunately. So so that's fear. But also there's grief, that sense of hopelessness, in a way that, oh my God, it's happening again. It's like, despite of the fact, it's like, since you can, whatever your story is, it's like, maybe since childhood you had been struggling with friendships, and it's almost like, see this happening again and again, despite of the fact that you're trying so hard. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So these three, I would say, emotional activations are the most common that I notice within myself, for sure. All three of them, huge, but also in the work that I had with my clients. So at this point, what is really important is for you to acknowledge what is actually happening, okay? And I want you to think about that. Your brain and your mind, it's almost like, if you're not gonna train it consciously to start predicting new stuff for you, it's just gonna stay in the same feedback loop. So it's gonna stay in fear, it's gonna stay in anger, it's gonna stay in grief. What is important is to treat this internal activation that is happening when nothing is happening or nothing is changing in life as a moment to actually do some, shadow work. I mean, what you call shadow work. And shadow work in this particular case, when you already started changing your behavior, so you're already doing something and you see very little or no feedback, well, now is the time to feel all those emotions that are coming up. Yes, guys, I know. Please don't kill the messenger, but this is only this is the only way how you're gonna heal. Okay, maybe not heal. How you're gonna expand the nervous system range that you're building towards, towards what you actually want in friendships. If we follow that particular example, you have to feel somatically that anger. You have to feel somatically that fear. You have to feel somatically that panic and grief, or whatever else is coming up for you, and stop attaching the same meaning and stop attaching the same thoughts to those emotional states. Feel them and just say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna feel this grief. I'm gonna feel it, but I'm not going to react. I'm gonna feel this anger. I'm gonna feel this frustration, this irritation, this hopelessness. I'm gonna feel it, but I will not react to life in a way that's gonna bring me back to the old behavior and the old loop. This is very hard. So just to say, yes, by the time I got it actually right, so I stopped reacting in the old ways, it took some time. So guys, as well, treat this as learning process, because this is so important that you're gonna have so much compassion for yourself when you're doing this work and things are not working out and you're getting frustrated with reality and life and yourself. It's almost like, think about it as if, let's say you sign up for, I don't know, Chinese classes. So you want to learn, how to speak Chinese. No one's gonna expect from you to speak Chinese, even a tiny amount, on the first class. No. So why would you expect from yourself to heal like this? And to, for like after 4 weeks, all those old patterns to just disappear from your, conscious mind and from your unconscious mind, and for you to be just healed and fine. It doesn't happen that way. So healing is a learning process, and it is a learning, you're learning skills. Again, like I said in my previous video. So you have to now think about it, okay, process those feelings, and then you're going to be able to take an adequate action. So once you're going to clear the fog from all these stuck, suppressed emotions that came up because nothing was going on in your life and nothing was really changing, you will see, okay, and you're going to be able then to decide what is the next best move. Because maybe you have to pivot a little bit, maybe you have to change your behavior just slightly more, but maybe not. Maybe you just need to stick with it, because maybe this is a bit of a slow growth. Maybe this is like a slow momentum. So this discernment between, do I pivot a bit or do I just wait a bit longer? That's the difference between staying stuck in healing and actually healing. And that is really nuanced, and that really depends from like a person to a person. So I want you to take what I'm saying with like, how can I apply it to my specific situation? So think about it. This discernment is really important. And like I said, to come back to the beginning of this video, when you stop taking that feedback from life as something personal, but as a way almost like for you to maybe do some shadow work, because you need to do that shadow work. Maybe you need to feel that anger, for that anger to stop clouding your discernment, because all those suppressed emotions, they are clouding your discernment, because it's almost like they hanging there in the body unprocessed, and they still activating the same trail of thoughts. So I hope that that really makes sense to you. And if you need some help with the discernment, when you are stuck on that particular, journey, when you adjusted your behavior, but things cropping up again and again, then you can book a session with me. You've got the links down below. And otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. And one thing, don't ever give up on yourself. Please don't ever give up on yourself. Stay curious and stay compassionate. Two things. It's like really important. Stay curious and stay compassionate, and just keep going, because you can do it. That's my experience. Healing is very passable, and it is within your reach. Okay, just reach out again and again and again, and at some point things will start moving. Right, I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye bye.